JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. Tuesday, September 9th, 9:15 on this fine morning. Talk really quick about the market. Some names I'm looking at, go from there. Apologies, under the weather again, so hopefully my voice clears up. But S&P futures pretty much flat as a pancake, 0.01% to the upside. It looks like we get another lackluster session here ahead of tomorrow's PPI data. I always love looking at Market Watch. Nice headlines this morning, right? Main page. Why JP Morgan is warning the Fed rate cut everyone expects could sink stocks. Get into the bomb shelter, start digging, folks. Just joking, sarcasm, right? I mean, it's good to have a diverse view of the markets and understand all the things that may happen. My worry, and you take a look at yields, and yields have almost near. I mean, pretty remarkable reversal, especially over the last couple of weeks, well, couple of days, and we're almost near the April lows. And then you look, and it's like, are we going to go and test those September lows ahead of the Fed next week? I mean, I would take a very large outside move. I prefer not, but then you have to worry about what happened last time when they did the jumbo rate cut, and that was the bottom of yields. We haven't hit those levels since that the jumbo rate cut. So hopefully that's not we're not going to have a situation that mirrors that. Markets find some footing. We get through September okay, and then we start to get to the end of year window dressing, right? That would be the ideal scenario. The worst scenario would be at some point, the tariff situation with inflation data tomorrow and Thursday, that really starts to pick up. Then you have, okay, we're going to cut rates. Inflation is high, but jobs numbers are weak. So the economy's weakening, inflation's high, and we're cutting rates. So it's like, how do they balance that? So then it probably might come into a situation where we do have some profit taking at some point. But that always happens, right? It's a market. Market doesn't always go up, although it's been pretty much up and to the right since April 7th. 336 to, do I have that 336 to 554? I think that's the range I had on the SPY. Upper Bollinger Band still, when I say five, it's six. 651. Gosh, I remember the days when SPY was like under $100. Those were the days, right? But 651 and change is the upper Bollinger Band, so that might be some resistance if we get up there, get to 650 in the pre-market. So watching that. And then the small caps, talk about some weakness, and hopefully, if you listen to rants over the last, it's like a broken record. One of these days they take the reins and we see another 10 to 15% upside on small caps, while the mega caps and all those other take kind of a breather. And I don't know if it was like 2014, there were severe outperformances of the small cap index. I think IWM was up like 40% in 2014. I'll have to go back and look at the data. One of these years, and those are the best years, because a lot of names I like are the small cap variety, which tend to be undiscovered, right? All right, so that's overall market. Just quick on individual names. After the close today, we get Oracle. So that one's been on a monster tear. Maybe give a little more insight into AI and CapEx spending and all that fun stuff. But we also get GameStop, and I'm looking at the chart and it looks so tempting. I mean, take a look at its move since its last earnings. It's been almost somewhat range bound, right? And I mean, considering what it's done over the years, it's like an anomaly. It's not normally that trades in that type of range, and also it's got tight Bollinger Bands. So, to me, it's like, oh, there's probably gonna be an outsized move, but half of me is like, oh, there's gonna be an outsized move after earnings, or the other half is like the market's got it right, and maybe there's a couple more quarters of dead movement in GME. The story there, and it's funny. GME is like the reserve when it's doing the Bitcoin. Reserve situation, you have these other names in the ETH doing it, and those stocks are going bonkers. Meanwhile, GME has done nothing since they announced the purchases and more offerings. So it's not really an earnings story, but they're, surprisingly enough, they're throwing off free cash flow. It's an interesting story. So maybe after the earnings tonight, I'll revisit tomorrow. And then Nike, right? Last week, short holiday session, Tuesday markets were open, Monday were closed. So in hindsight, maybe I should have sat on my hands for last week. And then yesterday, similar situation. I'm like, a lot of the stuff gapped and ran after the open, and then moved lower. So I didn't want to be in a spot where I'm starting to chase some things, but Nike wasn't up much at all in the morning. And I at some point, I think this is going to start to run into its earnings. 74.95 is the big spot. Hopefully today's the day it gets over that 50-day moving average. We'll see. Positive analyst commentary again this morning around Dick's and Foot Locker. And those are brands that just help the Nike story. They don't take away from it. It's not like it's good for the whole market. So I have to think at some point this rallies into their earnings at September 30th. Gets over 74.95. I'll look for some later dated strikes to encompass earnings with the hopes of getting some premium build lock and some in cover cost. Pool last 30-minute or last actually like 5 minutes save, huge volume at the end of the day, all the way up to 333.62. Closing flat though. So it gets over 335 today. I'll look for some other strikes too. Again, another name takes advantage of this lower rate environment that hopefully continues. It's just more, and it's like just shocking. This hasn't moved that much with the Warren Buffett stake. IIPR flat as a pancake yesterday too. Hopefully that starts to run. SERV Robotics was running out of the gate yesterday. Almost got some January strikes. I'm just going to be patient. It's up 3 days in a row. But if it gets some continuation, maybe around 11:30 or so. There was news this morning too. Um, they're integrating some company, which I've never heard of. I don't think that's any uh, market moving event, but some I'll take a look at. And then last but not least is Reddit, and I've said this for the last couple of months. It's like this year, Reddit's going to be over $300. I would say I have a pretty high probability it happens pending any crazy market shenanigans. It's just how to play it, right? And the further out of money strikes are so expensive. And then even when it runs up, you calls her up, and then what do you sell them, and it sells off, and then unless you're able to time it perfectly, it's such a hard trade. So maybe today's the day. I mean, Reddit ran all the way up into the open yesterday, and then reverse course $15 down to 228 by the afternoon. I just not a fun one to, if you chase the open, you get destroyed on the premium. So maybe today's the day. Maybe I'll wait till PPI data tomorrow and finally get back into Reddit. I try to think of some of these other names. I mean, obviously CGC. Oh, Lemonade, another name that just looks set to, it's consolidated. It's been holding that 50 handle, got a little bit below it last week, and now it looks like it might want to squeeze again. So if that takes off, it's 70, 65, $70 plus. That's it. Let's have a great day, folks. Rock and roll.